You've probably heard by now that Texas has indicted Netflix in connection with the Cuties film. But what exactly does this mean? Can a state subject a corporation to criminal prosecution? And if so, what type of penalty would Netflix face if convicted? We discuss that and more in this breakdown. Today we're going to be breaking down the indictment filed by the state of Texas against Netflix Incorporated. I obtained an official copy of the indictment directly from the Tyler County Clerk of Court, and we're going to break it down as well as the applicable laws to try and flesh out exactly what this means and what we can expect going forward. This is the official copy of the indictment. You can see that it was filed September 23, 2020 in the Tyler County District Court in Texas. The cause or docket number is in the right-hand corner, 13,731. Presently, this is the only thing in the file, but any new documents setting hearing days or motions or evidence that the state may file in support of its case or that Netflix may file in its own defense will be found in this file under this docket number going forward. The charge is promotion of lewd visual material depicting child under PC, which stands for Penal Code, Article 43.262. So what does this statute say? If we take a look at this code, we can see that Chapter 43 concerns public indecency. It's a long statute, so we'll go directly to the relevant section 262. Section 43.262 has to do with possession or promotion of lewd visual material depicting child. Subsection B states, a person commits an offense of this kind if the person knowingly possesses, accesses with intent to view, or promotes visual material that, number 1, depicts the lewd exhibition of the genitals or pubic area of an unclothed, partially clothed, or clothed child who is younger than 18 years of age at the time the visual material was created. Number 2, appeals to the pure interest in sex. And number 3, has no serious literary, artistic, political, or scientific value. Also important to note, Section D, which reads, it is not a defense to prosecution under this section that the depicted child consented to the creation of the visual material. This defense of, well, they're professionals, they're actresses, they agreed, their parents agreed, counselors were present, none of that would presumably be a defense under this law. So Netflix wouldn't be able to rely on that defense, which is a defense that many of its supporters and supporters of this film have been alleging. So that is the statute Netflix is being charged under. That is the applicable law, and that is what the state will have to prove element by element in order to be successful. Now, if we return to the indictment, it tells us there under the caption that a grand jury was selected and paneled, sworn, charged, and organized. Let's stop there. A grand jury is a group of regular everyday people who answer the call for jury duty. But unlike the jury you're probably familiar with, they don't determine an accused person's innocence or guilt. What they do is determine whether there is probable cause or sufficient evidence based on what is presented to them by the state and the state alone to believe that a person or entity has committed a crime. That happened here. They determined that it looks like there's enough evidence to suggest a crime was committed that fit the definition we just went over, which the district attorney there has decided to pursue in the form of this charge. The allegations are then listed in the second paragraph, starting with the law that we just went over, and then stating what they did, what Netflix is accused of having done, that the state believes violates that law that we just went over. According to the state of Texas, they did so by issuing or selling or providing or delivering or distributing or disseminating or transmitting or publishing or exhibiting or presenting or advertising the film titled Cuties, also known as Mignon, or offering or agreeing to issue, sell, provide, deliver, distribute, disseminate, transmit, publish, exhibit, present, or advertise said film, and the promotion of said film was authorized or recklessly tolerated by a high managerial agent of Netflix Incorporated, namely Wilmot Reed Hastings Jr., or Theodore Anthony Sarandos Jr., acting in behalf of Netflix Incorporated and within the scope of the agent's office or employment at Netflix Incorporated. So while the film does sexualize these children, and certainly there is a great deal of lewd exhibition, the trier of fact, be it a judge or a jury, will have to determine whether what is depicted in the film meets this specific definition, whether these acts that Netflix are alleged of engaging in violate the law. The next question, of course, is can a corporation be convicted of a crime, and what happens if they're convicted? Well, the answer is yes. Texas, like many, if not most other states, does allow corporations to be convicted of criminal offenses. But what does that look like? What kind of penalty would a corporation face if convicted? Obviously, an individual would be facing jail time, and you can't put a corporation in jail. We need only look to Penal Code 1251, another code in the law, which reads as follows. If a corporation is adjudged guilty of an offense that provides a penalty including imprisonment, or that provides no specific penalty, a court may sentence the corporation to pay a fine in an amount fixed by the court not to exceed $20,000 if the offense is a felony of any category, and this would be a felony. Subsection C says, if the corporation is found to have gained money or property, among other things, which is surely the case here, the court could sentence the corporation to pay a fine in an amount up to double the amount gained by the corporation. So that is what Netflix is facing if they are actually brought before a judge or a jury, prosecuted for this offense, and convicted. What do you think? Let me know in the comments section if you were the judge or you were the jury, what would you decide? Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.